Thank you, Dr. Narayana. Thank you, Ambassador. Um, Let me begin by welcoming you to Pakistan again. I know, I know, I know that you've been welcomed a lot in Pakistan, and this is deeply from our heart. We all regard China very fondly, and as a close friend of Pakistan, iron brother, as you say. Since time is short, I'm going to cut to the story of Pakistan the way I look at it. And of course, the story can be told in many different ways. But as you said, we must talk about how to increase our relationship, our trade, our growth story. The opportunity of Pakistan, I would like to say, and the opportunity of China Pakistan friendship is huge. And I'll give you a very brief glimpse of that. We can talk a lot about it. Very briefly, Pakistan is a very young country. All of us know that it's a very young country. But the part that is often missed is that we also have a growing middle class. Despite our problems, our middle class is growing well. And my colleague here, who was just talking, Dora Nayab, has done a paper on this, done some research on this. We have a growing middle class and a growing market. We estimate that if the reform program that has begun and that we are trying to get done, and this government is trying to get done, if we can get it done, we will grow at a range of 8% per annum over the next 20 to 30 years. And of course, with that will come the investment rate of 28% of GDP, whereas now we stand at 13. So there's a long way to go in terms of our improving our growth and serving a young middle class population, which is obviously going to contribute to growth. So as you can see, we are projected to be the seventh or the fifth largest consumer market in the world. Median age of 20.6, and a market for the future. With a huge consumer focus, lots of room for many trading partners to grow, and especially China, because you have a special window in Pakistan. As you have probably heard this many times, and we've talked about it many times, CPEC is an opportunity that Pakistan sees very fondly. It is the framework for regional connectivity through the BRI initiative, but it is much more than that to us, because it's a window for us into not only China, but Central Asia, and it is truly going to make Pakistan into an Asian country. However, thus far, we have only focused on infrastructure in CPEC. But to follow the BRI initiative, we must truly develop a greater people to people contact, and especially what we call a thought contact, an academic community, which China is about to become with Pakistan. As the Vice Chancellor of BUTIMS mentioned, we've got a large number of students right now in China. I think we may have a few thousand students in China. I know we've got 3 from PIDE. So we need to really come together in the second phase of CPEC. We've got a huge potential, as you can see. Regional connectivity is increasing and will increase, but we need to develop much more of a logistical connectivity and much more trade and commerce. I can read off a large number of areas where we can cooperate, but I think you already know most of those. So I'll just go into 2 or 3 things that are very important for us. So we in Pakistan are planning a massive deregulation of our economy, just like China did a long time ago. We are planning to develop our markets here, which will offer China an opportunity. As we develop our markets and deregulate our economy, I think we need CPEC to be a partner in this reform. We need China to help us undertake this reform, because we are truly in awe of your reform and your ability to grow. So since we have think tanks here, I'd like to emphasize that we need China to become a partner in our reforms. We rely far too much on international support from the East in terms of thought and reform. West, sorry. We should now rely on the East and China. As we build markets for our investment, as I said, we need 28% of GDP investment for the coming future, because we've got a large growing population that is ready to work. We see China coming in with major consumer products to help us grow. So we need to move beyond infrastructure. And if you look at the products I've listed here, the US is a large number of consumer products here. from Coca-Cola to toothpaste to soap to everything. And we expect that China will also compete heavily with the US in terms of capturing a consumer market. We went to China last year and talked to some of your universities and think tanks. And as the rest of the world, we were truly impressed by the cities and the infrastructure you have created. We in PIDE are pushing the government for a city deregulation for creating modern cities, like in China. We have several large cities. We have at least 30 cities with more than 1 million people. We have at least 100 cities with over 100,000 people. Pakistan is now largely urban. What we need is an urban regeneration. So as you can see, starting off from building housing, modern buildings, modern shopping malls, to building a massive transport, intercity transport system. We need help everywhere from China because you people have the best cities in the world now. There's a great investment opportunity not only in the consumer market, but also developing the way we live. Now, of course, you also read the newspapers. You also know the story. Pakistan is heavily involved with the IMF. We have a balance of payments difficulties.
我们现在有一个这个偿债的困难。
But we are determined to get over them in this IMF program. And this means that we must focus on investment and growth in the coming few years. That is why we are deregulating our markets and making new markets so that we can offer, first of all, countries like China an opportunity to be closer to us. So I hope that we will develop this partnership further and make sure that we never go to the IMF again. And that will only happen if we deregulate enough to allow your companies for you to develop the consumer market as well as the cities of Pakistan. Few things that are very important to talk about. You know about the special economic zones we are building. But those zones, we are trying to copy Shenzhen, for example, which is probably the most important example of a special economic zone. But a few things that we note, for example, that now given all this trade difficulties that are happening in the world, we expect that Pakistan could be a major hub for Chinese exports. I mean, not only is Pakistan looking to import EVs, but I think we could also be a part of China's value chain to export Chinese EVs from here. So we want to ready ourselves, our population, to be able to collaborate with China to export from Pakistan. We have a huge market for electric vehicles of all kinds, not only cars, but bicycles and motorcycles and what we call rickshaws in Pakistan. And we expect that China will collaborate with us. And we expect that Pakistan and China will compete with Tesla in the international market. Another area where we need serious collaboration is China already, a Chinese company, already owns the Pakistan Stock Exchange. In the coming years, we are going to expand our stock market very heavily. We need China to play a very important role in developing the Pakistan Stock Exchange, help us deepen our capital market. We would even welcome some Chinese firms to list on the Pakistan Stock Exchange to give it a jump start. We need to learn from you how to make our stock market grow. We are also looking to develop our semiconductor industry. The government has asked PIDE to prepare a policy. We are preparing that right now. This is an area in which I think we will not be able to grow without China's help. So we truly must get together to see how China can help us grow a semiconductor market. So, as I said, in the second phase of CPEC, we hope to move our collaboration beyond infrastructure and especially into what I call thought connectivity. My dream is to see China and Pakistan developing research together, conferences together. We learn from China directly, not through the Western press. So I would argue on behalf of all the think tanks here, we need to develop much greater thought connectivity in the second phase of CPEC. And the second phase of CPEC needs much greater Chinese investments in our consumer markets and in our cities. So with that, Ambassador, let me once again say, such a pleasure to talk to you people, and inshallah we should continue this dialogue at every level as much as we can. and we'll continue to learn from you. Thank you.